What's up guys, Venom RB here. So as I'm sure most of you have seen, Driving Empire added crates, and today I'm just going to be going over my opinions on them being in the game. This isn't going to be a video going over what they are. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but rather just my opinion, looking at the community's opinion, and just talking about how this might affect the game in the future, just kind of stuff like that. This isn't aiming to necessarily be a just crap on DE and how bad they are, but I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. I'm gonna actually give my honest opinion. So yeah, let's get right into it, I guess. Alright, first let's talk about the community's reaction, because honestly I don't think I've seen a worse community's reaction to updates. Obviously with every update there's always going to be people talking bad about it, but this is just on a whole nother level. So they opened in the Discord server, what do you think of the update? And I'm not kidding, like 90% of the stuff is just hate, like Volix partnership brought the game down, stuff like that. Update is the worst update that Wave4 ever had, 108 DE, blah blah blah. Just a bunch of people just crapping on DE for the update, which, you know, I'll give my opinions in a bit. You go to their Twitter stuff, you know, you got just rename it to Gambling Empire. I want to refund my money back. Thank you. Roulette is rubbish. Worst update. My favorite's good update. I love it. When will you add 20 more crates and 2 new game passes for better luck and discount on crates? Just all sorts of good stuff. So as you can see, people hate it. We have Matrix over here slowly realizing what my favorite Roblox game is turning into. He's all sad. Comments are not great. Now, for Matrix's case, I do want to point this out. He did say they reached out to him and he gave him some feedback, which there, if you can pause if you care. And then, you know, you got people making videos on it, which shout out to Deventador44. Pretty good video, you know. I've seen some other videos, people talking about it. This comment in particular, golden. But now I'm going to give my actual thoughts. As you can see though, the community did not respond well to this update in the slightest. Alright, so now that we've gone over the community's reaction, let's get into problems I have with this. So first up, game passes, right? We all know them, we all love them. Not really. But as you all know, during the Christmas event, they added a 2x presents game pass, right? Pretty simple, even though I don't believe they had ever added, you know, a 2x event thing in the past, but that's whatever. We all know what that pass is and what it does. Now, what's to say they don't add a 2x crate chance, 2x luck, right? So instead of 0.2, you'd have 0.4% chance or something along those lines. I think that would just be pretty lame, and it also wouldn't surprise me at all to see, you know, just monetizing crates even more and making them that much more, both like kind of that much more like gambling in the sense that you're spending real money on it to try and get better stuff, but even just that much more lame, because it's just I don't know, something about it is just kind of lame. So that would be my first concern. Not really a big concern because it's not the end of the world. Nothing DE does is the end of the world, but it's not really that big of a deal. It's just like the first small concern I had would be them using game passes to increase your chances of getting stuff. On to my next concern, which is limited cars being just in crates. Now, I know they've said they aren't going to be, at least I think they did somewhere. So I'm not saying that's, you know, 100%, but it's like even if the majority of limiteds were in crates, I don't care for this style at all, and here's why. So you have people who've spent 60 million to get both cars, 30 million to get both cars, 10 million to get both cars, anywhere along that range. I'm not kidding. I've seen people spend 60 million to get these two things, and then I've seen people spend 500k. Now this is my Porsche right here, and I spent 600k to get it, right? I got lucky. I had friends who tried to get this, dumped 8 million and didn't get anything, right? And I just think that's kind of really, it's just lame, quite honestly, to see people like wasting all their money, all their time trying to get this car when it could have just been like $4 million in the dealership. Even that's like higher than the price should be in real life. It could have been 4 million. It could have been a normal limited, been on sale for 2 days. Everybody would have been happy with that. Nobody would have complained. That would have been the end of it. Cool car, right? Everybody likes it. That would have been fine. F40, same thing. Could have just been in the dealership. Instead, we have this case system, which I just think is not the way to go about it. So the reasoning is, or their reasoning I've heard, is it allows people with less money to get cars, which is 100% true. Take me, for example. I spent 500k for this car. I would not have bought this car if it had been a limited, unless it was like under 2 million bucks, because I don't care enough, right? I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, you're just hating on this because you have money in DE. I really don't. I haven't grinded this game in about 3 months, right? So I don't have any money left at all. I have 25k in my account. Before this update, I had 400k. I wasn't buying anything. Even then, I still would have rather seen these cars been on sale in the dealership, knowing I would have no chance of getting them. I would have less of a chance. And that's just because I think the case system is really just not a good idea, in the sense that, for one, it just screws with everything, because like I said, you'll have people grind so much time for cars and not get them at all. And you'll have a noob spin it first time, get a Ferrari F40 LM, and then just leave the game and never play it again. It's just very unrewarding for people who play the game a lot. It's just like kind of a slap in the face to them, almost, in the sense of like, oh yeah, you played our game for hours and hours. Well, we're going to give you the same chance of getting this car as some noob who spent 2 seconds playing our game. That's kind of how I view it as. Now, again, people are just going to say, oh, you just played the game a lot. But there's people who play the game to get cars they want. There's people who genuinely want this car and cannot get it without spending millions and millions. And there's going to be some noob who can just get it. I don't particularly like that. So that's my other concern, which is just limited cars being in crates in general. I think if they had all in-game dealership cars in crates, I wouldn't have much of a problem with it, because, okay, that's fine, that's cool. Then, you know, you have a different way to get cars. You know, you can risk, even like, say, replace the 918 with, I don't know, a McLaren Senna, and say replace the F40 with like a Jesko, right? Those are some good cars. And now you have a chance at unlocking them for 58k. But anybody can go to the dealership and unlock them, and you're not guaranteed to get that car anyways. So you might win and you might spend less money on the car, or you might end up spending more money on the car, right? But at least it's not a limited that you won't be able to get ever again. I just don't like that. All right, the next thing we're going to be talking about is teaching kids about gambling. Now, I bring up this point to both defend DE and not defend DE, whatever. Go against DE here, right? So in DE's defense, I don't have much, and this will lead into our next topic. I don't really have a problem with it, or see a problem with it being in-game currency, right? Because it is a risk, and you know, if you want to take it, that's fine. Now, the spins are addicting, I won't lie. Like, all my friends think they are. I've seen people in public servers talking about it. It's fun to dump money into this thing knowing you're not going to get anything of value in return, right? It kind of is. And so, you know, I'm 17 and I am sitting here invested in a Roblox game over cars spinning, right? So imagine a 5-year-old, imagine 5-year-old you, right? You would probably be dumping all your money into this thing before really thinking about it. And I just think for a children's game, that's kind of just not great to teach kids about gambling. And I say teach in like a loose way, because I don't really think they're out here. And I don't think any kid's going to take this advice and be like, well, DE has gambling. Next stop, Las Vegas. Let's get it. Like, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I just don't think it's necessarily the greatest thing. And that goes into our next topic of, what about Robux crates? Now, I've heard from some people that they are adding them, and I'm not going to pretend like that's factual at all. That these are just rumors, or at least this is just a rumor, so do not quote me on that. If there are any Voltix developers watching this video who have anything at all to say on any of the topics covered, especially this one, please comment it. I'll pin your comment, whatever. That's absolutely fine. I would love to be corrected on this. That's fine. So we're talking about Robux crates. Say this crate costs 25 Robux, right? And you could get all of these cars, and then they had another one which was 100 Robux and 1,000 Robux, you know, so on and so forth, whatever the price. At that point, you're using real money to have a chance at winning in-game vehicles, which ultimately to me is especially just problematic, and kind of ties in with the teaching children to spend money. But now you're onto real life money, to where you could have kids stealing parents' credit cards and spending money on a Roblox game. You just have kids wasting money on this, hoping to get their rare F40 or whatever car is out, when you know they don't have much of a chance, especially if they don't buy your 2 times luck game pass or whatever else you're selling, right? So I think the main problem with this would be if they did just straight up add all sorts of Robux things into it. I think that would just not be good at all. for even DE's reputation for like just in general to have like that. Now, I know people say like Pet Simulator has it, or at least I heard they did from somebody on Twitter. I honestly have no idea. I mean, I guess you can justify it if you want to that way. You can justify whatever you want because somebody's done it in the past. You know, there's been people who've done terrible things. That doesn't mean you can do it because they did it. Now, again, Robux crates, literally just a rumor. They might not come out at all. Just, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. So I think Robux crates would be morally wrong, especially in a children's game. At least with adults, they know what they're getting themselves into. But children, they're just going to see it, they're going to spend their money, and they're not going to know what they're doing. Alright, and my last concern, not necessarily the most important, but just a concern I have in general, is bringing back, and this I should have put with the other limiteds one, but oh well, is just how they're bringing back old limiteds like the 918, and this just sort of goes for the update in general. I think it's kind of sad to see all these old limiteds come back when they were so rare, but I mean, I guess it's because like new players, but I mean, it's kind of just like, it makes people not want to buy limiteds, or at least me and people I talk to not want to buy limiteds as much, because what's the point of buying a limited if you know in a year it's going to come back? Prime example of this would be, to just take something off Voldex here, would be when they brought back the P1 GTR. Like, what was the point? This car was, you know, rare. It was a cool car. If you had it, it showed you were an OG, and then they just brought it back and kind of ruined it. So I think that's just dumb. Now, that's not to say they did the entirely same thing with the 918, and I will give Voldex props for that. At least they gave it a different wrap. So if they all were like this, that would be fine. But like, we've seen leaks of like the McLaren F1. And like, if they bring that back, that's just going to be kind of sad for everybody who still has it and, you know, grinded for it all that time ago, because it's just a cool car, and it's like a cool limited thing to have, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for the video. While we're on the conversation of cars, this model is like, they did good on the exterior, but like the speedometer is kind of garbage, I can't lie. Alright, but anyways, that's gonna do it for the video. Once again, if there's any Voldex developers who watch this and have anything to clear up from this video at all, please comment it. I will pin your comment. Like I said, I will do that. If anybody would like to reach out to me for anything, well, you all know my Discord, so yeah, if you have anything you'd like to add me in private, go for it. With that being said, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you all for watching. This is kind of out there, and I'd love to hear everybody's opinions about this down below in the comments, so if you have anything you'd like to say or add, drop it down below. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Venom out.